Sometimes when I just want to relax, I sit down with a Mario game because they're generally pretty easy. However, there's one Mario game that really stands out amongst the crowd, most likely because in this one, Mario has a gun. Hey, I am the Game Collector and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Yoshi Safari for the Super NES.
Second Opinion Games.
In case you never heard of Yoshi Safari before, it's an on-rail shooter where you play as Mario using your trusty Super Scope to take out as many enemies as possible. They're of course controlled by Bowser, and this time he's not invading the Mushroom Kingdom, no, he entered Jewelry Land. And Princess Peach is pretty pissed off about it, because I think that's where she deals in jewelry. Either that or she's just after the guy's family jewels. I'm not quite sure which it is. So there is a king and his prince son that were captured by Bowser, along with all of the said family jewels. And your job is to get them back by blowing everything away with a rapid-fire cannon. Yes, it's as awesome as it sounds, and if you look at the graphics, it's very far ahead of its time, pushing Mode 7 to the absolute limits here. In Mario Kart, you basically just had half the screen going on at any given time. This, almost a full screen is dedicated to the Mode 7, and it looks absolutely amazing because of this. Bright colors, beautiful sound, and gameplay that's pretty much spot on, making this by far the best light gun game for the Super Nintendo. So your adventure is on its way, and immediately you're thrown into the light world, where you could choose right off the start from 1 to 8 levels. I usually do play them in order because, well, why not? I mean, you have the option. The first couple levels are relatively short. Occasionally you'll have to make a jump, and it shows you when you do. If you mess up the jump, well, you'll be taking a ton of damage, which seems pretty right. And just shoot at everything in sight. Occasionally you'll come across a fork in the road. Usually if you stick to the left-hand side, it'll be a little bit easier, and the right-hand side will be a little bit more difficult, but it'll get you to your destination faster. Speed is kind of an option here, because you're scored based on how you do and how fast you complete each level. But honestly, I just want to get through the game quicker, because it's one you could generally beat in just one sitting. There's also speeders on the ground that make Yoshi run really fast. Usually they're right before a jump, but sometimes they're not. And this is my favorite part of the game, especially in one of the earlier levels where Yoshi pretty much turns backwards and you're shooting at things chasing you. This is my favorite part of the game, and it only happens once. Very unfortunate here, because I feel like they could have done a lot more with this. Also, the jump mechanic, most of the time you're just jumping over whatever, but sometimes you're gonna try to jump over a hole or something like that. Occasionally you will come to a hole at the end of a level, mostly just setting up a boss fight. Now, other than that, jumping isn't really used, although it can be helpful in one of the sub-bosses. This giant fat Koopa Hammer Brother basically makes the ground shake, but if you jump at the right time, you can bypass all that and take him out very quickly. It's a real shame that they didn't incorporate more jumping into the game, because that aspect would have been really cool, maybe even jumping on the heads of creatures. However, dropped ball here. So most of the enemies in the game are very familiar to you already, including the bosses. Generally, they're Koopa's kids, and you take them out one at a time. When you reach the very end of the Light World levels, then you face off against a hot air balloon that appears to be very high. I think there was a joke intended here. Basically, shoot up the hot air balloon until you take it out. Overall, the game is pretty darn easy, and then you save the king. Yay! Your mission's over. No, it isn't, because it just turns full-on Zelda for you, sending you into the Dark World. The Dark World's just more the same. At this point in time, I noticed that some of the things I've done along the way has actually increased my shot bar up at the corner, and my life seems to be longer, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, I kill lots more enemies and work my way through to the final level, which is Bowser's Castle. The graphics here still look absolutely amazing. I do like the lava in the background. There's plenty of spots to jump all over the place. So gameplay is mixed up a little bit more here, but overall still also more the same, which is okay with me because the game is pretty darn fun. You come to Bowser himself, who appears in a giant mech suit at first, which you blow off left and right until it's just Bowser himself. And he seems a little sad, maybe because this is the first time he came across Mario with a freaking machine gun. And you take him out and win the game. Peace is restored to the land, yay! And that's it. That's really all I could say about the game, except for the fact that Mario is a little bit of a psychopath here. In between levels, there's a bit of a loading time, or score breakdown, and in this, we see Mario's true intentions here. Here we have a happy Yoshi, and all of a sudden, Mario just starts opening fire on him like a crazy person. And then, he just sits there proudly while Yoshi runs around in absolute terror. Mario is freaking nuts. So, that's pretty much every reason to play this game, to have a little bit of mindless fun, collect some gems, save the family jewels, and give him the Princess Peach and finally make her happy. The game is really great. I strongly recommend it, especially if you have a Super Scope. It's really the only game I strongly recommend, but that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.